What a trip!
What a trip!
It was a little bumpy, huh?
It was a little bumpy, but we finally made it.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Thanks,
you
Doc.
brought us to the right time,
Yes,
right?
you did.
2013.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, ComiCon,
Right
Utah.
show. Utah.
Yeah, what are we going to do here today?
Oh, so many things. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, so we are going to talk a lot about how this pop culture has to do with your business and the things that are changing behavior out there and how people really are making whole industries, niche industries inside the pop culture.
That's right.
So stay with us.
You're going to love it.
Hey, Doctor, go hide the TARDIS. I'll be right back.
All right, see you.
Hey, excuse me, where can I get a soda? Thank you. Hey, today we are in the Mecca of pop culture, ComiCon. This is ComiCon Utah, actually the very first one in Utah. Guess what? They sold 34,000 tickets. You know, pop culture is a big thing, and understanding where behavior is leading is crucial in business. So not only are you going to have a chance to see the best of Doctor Who here, one of my favorite characters, but we are going to show you the business of pop culture today.
So, Comic-Con.
Yes. You know, maybe you can see behind us the sheer mass of people around here. There's just a fraction of what's really in here.
Compared to what's standing in line outside.
Yes, 34,000 of them.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting to us?
Tell us.
First of all, you see all generations here.
Yes, that's true. From very young ones to older people, and yeah.
And that's, you know, let's think about why this has to do with your business.
Why?
Well, see here an industry that appeals to several different generations, right? Comics. One of the reasons for that is because it's storytelling.
Yeah,
it's pure storytelling. So it attracts a lot of people from different ages. This is a beautiful thing about comics, because you know some of the stories were written in 1942 up to 1960. So heroes like Batman and Superman, you know, they were able to cross this generation.
Who are still very powerful today.
Exactly. And not only that, they were able to cross different cultures.
Yes.
Okay, so comics, they accept diversity, they foster that, they talk to the heart of different cultures and different ages. And most important of all, engages people.
Yes.
I mean, you're not probably here in Salt Lake, so you don't know that we usually don't have events with this many people.
No, it's the first time I've seen it. And we go to a lot of events.
Yes.
For the
with
last
thousands
9
of people.
years at least.
Yeah.
Thousands of people, but not nearly as much as this.
Yes. So you see, they are very engaged in the things that they like. Remember, we talked before that people, when they have any, sorry, I'm losing here. When people have a rational passion for something, you know, they don't see barriers in spending money.
No, it's not about the money. It's about getting their hands on that irrational passion.
Yeah, so for example, last night we had William Shatner and Adam West, so Captain Kirk and Batman. On an event. They didn't allow the press there, but we had thousands of people that paid over $500
to be there and take a picture with
take a picture with their idols. This also tells us how important celebrity can be in business.
Yes.
Okay, for the event to be successful, they need to bring celebrities.
They do.
My question is, how do you use celebrities in your business?
And you know, Shahar, question though, does it mean that in my business
you can read it here?
You do not use the staircase. Well, anyway, in your business, no, wait. Does that mean that in my business that I need to bring a celebrity to create that deeper connection? Or could it even be a way that, okay, how can I position myself in a way where I am putting myself as a celebrity, so to speak?
Yes. So you can, right? You can create, you can be an icon in your industry if you know how to use any type of media, online or offline, in order to do that. Or if you're fortunate enough to hire or maybe take a picture in an event with a celebrity, you can use those in postcards, in emails, in a lot of things.
Yes.
Because by association, you're changing your status.
Yeah, by association you become the celebrity or the expert and so forth.
Yeah.
For example, we took a picture with Ferrigno from The Incredible Hulk, right? And so the first thing that we said, well, hey, we're going to use this and we're going to use it for this, for this, for this, for this. Simple things like we can create a postcard and send it out to our list, or basically showing them that you're associated with this incredible person.
Yes, which he was an incredible person.
He was very nice too.
Well, another thing that is important to notice in events like Comic-Con or the comic industry as a whole, is the multi-platforms that they found over the years in order to promote products. So
That's right.
you see them.
So it's not just comics, right?
In T-shirts, like you're wearing one from Doctor Who.
You can see, but yeah.
Plushes, toy
Plush
art,
toys,
paintings. You really have
comics,
hundreds of options out there.
Movies.
So
a bunch of things.
you see, when you put storytelling, when you create something that can cross generations and cultures, you can also create multiple ways of distribution. You can create different ways of distribution with most products, but it's important to have behind the idea of how am I going to engage my audience with me that will make them stick for years and bring new generations into that.
A little bit off topic, but as you were speaking, it came to mind when we had the opportunity to be with Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yes.
And they're a rock band, very famous. One of the ones that I don't remember the stats, but they made like the most amount of money with things other than their music, basically. And one of the things was that they figured out a way to, hey, let's put us in other media, in other formats that people can take us with them.
Yes.
And so even toilet paper, even Kiss toilet paper exists,
yes,
right?
Yes, it's very important.
Plush toys, books, whatever, everything.
When your brand has a meaning to the market, you need to figure a way, right, to put them in different distribution channels with different products and services.
That's very good. So obviously, at least for me, it's obvious. It's not like I have the reach that Kiss has, right? And I will never be as popular as Batman. But
well, we could if they shared this show quite a bit.
Yes,
yeah, it's up to you.
It is up to you. But ultimately, what you just said, and I forgot the phrase that you said, but if your brand has meaning to your audience, so start thinking, how can I have meaning to my audience
in different formats?
Sure, you might not have the reach that they do, but you will have the reach that you need, and the reach that it is to your audience, to the people that matter to you.
Exactly.
And so think that, how can I have meaning to my audience, and then how can my brand have meaning to my audience, and how can I make it so that I reach them in different formats?
Yes.
So not just one-on-one, or not just a book, start thinking that way.
One more thing. You might be thinking, well, but I'm not in the comic industry. It's difficult because maybe you manufacture something or you're an accountant, so you think there is no storytelling, or you might be in a bad moment in your business. I want you to have something in mind. Comics, okay? They started as comics, magazines, right? And when distribution changed from the newsstands to specific stores for comic books, an interesting thing happened. Because it took away all the women that used to buy comics, right? Why? Because usually those stores were headed by a nerd.
But because then, Shahar, like the women, they would go and they would buy the comics for their kids or for themselves, and they'd look through it. But then that format changed from the stands to the stores, and then that store was led by a
nerd, usually a teenager. So the smell inside the store was also not very inviting.
The most pleasant environment for people.
And worst of all, if the women didn't go into the stores, they wouldn't bring the sons, the next generation.
Bring their kids.
So the industry went into a dip, right? But things changed, and they changed the way they distribute. The movies came with all the superheroes. So the new generations that got in contact with the comics were able to adapt that to their own generation, and now you're seeing what you're seeing here. Any city where Comic-Con starts has a huge influx of people. Now you might think you're not like them. You don't dress yourself as Batman, but don't forget that a part of your audience is inside the show right now. And what matters to them should matter to you, because you should figure where you can create a bridge here to bring and engage them in your business.
That's excellent point. Excellent points. Figure out the ways that you can bring and engage them in your business. But also, if you're in one of those businesses that you're thinking, well, or that's going through a dip, it's going through a crisis, that's tanking, and you're thinking, okay, this is over, it's not going to happen. Just look at this
how
as
you
an
can
example.
revive.
How, they were able to survive, and And ultimately, their main distribution channel ended,
Yes.
right? And they were able to surpass that, and now it's
A
it's
huge
industry.
You know, you may not have an idea, but just the number of new companies that have surfaced in Asia, for example, and other micro markets that are pretty big, like the ball jointed dolls, the toy art industry. There are whole new industries right now that came because of this revival of the comics.
That's right.
Okay, so even if you're in the dip, maybe it's just time to get out of the computer,
Yeah,
sit
look
down,
at it differently.
and start looking from a different angle to your own
Yes,
business.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have to go back to interview some
Yes,
people there.
let's do it.
See ya.
The best thing that I can say is to, in a very private way, to get in alignment with yourself so that there is no part of your decision-making process that opposes who you are. For example, smoking opposes your lungs, period. Whether people wish to admit that or not, it's the truth. It is in opposition to your design. Any kind of toxic thinking is, opposing your dreams coming true. So just to be in alignment and not do anything or practice anything in the world that is against who you really are deep down inside, and not let anyone else tell you who you are. I think I just gave you about 4 tips all in one.
Yeah, but it's true, being true to yourself.
Well, that's it, because at the end of the day, when you are living in alignment with who it is you really are, and I actually talk about this in my book, the difference between, I call this the secret to happiness, okay? And obviously, happy people sell more than unhappy people. That's not surprising. But that the root cause for happiness is there's this thing I refer to called the gap. And the gap is the difference between who you actually are and who you present yourself to be. So the shorter that gap is, and the closer those two worlds come together, the happier you are, with best case scenario being obviously a complete alignment. I use that word a lot, alignment or synchronicity. So when those two worlds come together, then suddenly the man I'm presenting myself to be in your midst, not so surprisingly, is the man I actually am, in which case I will feel better. You will feel better because you're around honesty. You're not around someone who's standing behind smoke and mirrors or has a presentational self. And I mean, you've heard me speak. You know I go deep into this. And it's tough to compress a program that lasts for a few hours into just a couple of minutes.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Anyway, I just see the pop culture on the rise now because all across the country. It's just breaking all records, especially here. I've never seen a ComiCon here for the first time having sold over 33,000 tickets. And we need it because of the situation with the economy now, because we're in a situation of going to war and poor economy. People need sites like World War II. Entertainment huge because people wanted entertainment. They want to feel better about themselves. I think it would be like the answer right now to the bad economy because people can afford to come to the show, have a good time with the family, they don't have to spend as much money, but knowing that it's a great pop culture event to be part of.
And Luke, for business owners, what's one success tip that you can give them who are working?
They meet and greet with celebrities, they walk away with a smile on their face, because as a kid I didn't have anything like that. They get a chance to interact and meet everyone else and just have fun. The kids can see different monsters, different comic books, different comic book artists. We have panels, you get the celebrities talking about themselves, different panels, and it's almost like a seminar. You learn so much.
Being in a place like this makes me think 2 things. First of all, how behavior has changed over the years. After all, geeks and nerds used to be outcasts, and now, as you can see, they're becoming mainstream. The other thing is, what's really the emotional connection between characters and heroes and people from very different generations, as you can see. And you have to think about the personality. Most characters you will see that are also misfits in the society or have some traits in their personality that doesn't quite fit. That creates more engagement and a huge emotional connection.
Well, Comic-Con is coming to an end, and so is our show. This time, I hope you really enjoyed it. We covered a business of a different nature. See you next time.